right, strap yourselves in, because today we're going deep, really deep, into the world of tap-to-earn crypto games.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
HAMSTAR, BLUM,
Right.
even some Telegram bots out there promising to make you a crypto kingpin just by, well,
Tapping on your phone.
tapping on your phone, exactly.
It sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it?
I've got to admit, the skeptic in me has some questions.
Of course. Of course.
So let's break it down. For those who are maybe new to the crypto game, what is tap to earn? What's the elevator pitch?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
You're sitting there, maybe watching some ads on your phone or playing, one of those simple kind of mindless games that we all have on our phones, and boom, crypto just magically appears in your digital wallet.
Okay, so it sounds like easy money,
Right.
but I have to imagine there's a catch.
Yeah, well,
Where's all this free money coming from?
that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's no such thing as a free lunch, especially in the crypto sphere. And so many of these platforms, they live and die by new users, right? It's a constant influx of new signups, new investments. That's the engine that keeps this whole thing running.
So if that dries up?
Well, if that flow of new blood dries up, then the whole thing could sputter out, yeah.
So it's like kind of like a car running out of gas.
In a way, yeah.
And that brings to mind another word, and it's a little bit of a scary word. It's the P word. It's Ponzi scheme.
Right.
I've seen some chatter online,
Yeah.
people wondering if HAMSTAR and BLUM fall into that category.
Yeah, and it's a valid concern because think about it this way. A Ponzi scheme, it hinges on constantly bringing in new investors, right?
Okay.
So the money from these new recruits, it's used to pay off the earlier investors, and it creates this illusion of, hey, this is working, I'm making money.
Right.
But much like a house of cards, the moment that new money starts flowing in...
It all falls apart.
Exactly.
Okay, so with these tap-to-earn platforms, is the concern that, okay, well, what happens when user growth slows down? Does the platform just vanish?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the risk you take. It's crucial to understand, what is the actual business model of this platform? Before you invest any time, any money, you need to ask yourself, is this sustainable, or is it just banking on this never-ending stream of new recruits?
Okay, so we've got these questions about sustainability.
Yeah.
We've got this specter of Ponzi schemes looming.
Right.
What else? What other red flags should we be looking out for in the world of tap-to-earn? Because, sometimes it feels like the Wild West out there.
It does. It does.
What about those platforms, for example, that operate through Telegram? Those always kind of struck me as a little sus, as the kids say.
Yeah, I think you're right to be cautious about Telegram because you have all these bots, right? They just pop up left and right, and they're promising these insane returns, just complete these simple tasks and you'll be swimming in crypto. But there's often zero information about who's actually behind it. Is there a company? Is there an actual team?
Yeah, it's kind of alarming how little information there is.
Right. No customer support, just a whole lot of question marks.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's screaming scam, doesn't it?
And unfortunately, a lot of times it is. We've heard from so many people who, they do everything right. They do their tasks. They rack up their earnings, at least what they think are earnings.
Right.
But then when they go to cash out, it's like hitting a brick wall.
Right.
Suddenly there are these hidden fees, or there are these technical difficulties, or worse, they just get ghosted completely by the bot.
So you're telling me it's like that classic movie trope where, you can win big at the casino, but actually getting your money out is a whole other story.
It's exactly like that. And the lack of transparency, the lack of any kind of legitimate customer support, those are huge red flags.
Huge red flags. All right, so let's get specific.
Okay.
We've been talking kind of broadly here,
Yeah.
but we've gotten a ton of questions about two platforms in particular, HAMSTAR and BLUM.
Right.
What should our listeners be most wary of with those two?
So with HAMSTAR, we've seen some pretty concerning reports from users about difficulties with withdrawals.
Right.
Some are complaining about hidden fees eating into their earnings, while others are saying they've been completely locked out of their accounts.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Yeah, it really is. And then you've got BLUM, which is a bit newer, so there's not quite as much information floating around about it yet. But the core question remains the same. Can you trust them to actually pay out when you've put in the time and you've earned enough to cash out? It all comes back to their business model, their track record.
So it really sounds like with these tap-to-earn platforms, if it seems too good to be true.
It probably is.
Right.
Probably is.
There's no such thing as easy money or free money, I guess.
It's a good rule of thumb for life in general, I think.
It really is. But it's not just about, dodging scams and making sure you're really not getting ripped off.
Right.
Scott, there's another layer to this whole crypto conversation that we need to talk about, and that's the environmental impact.
Right. That's huge.
We've all heard the stories about Bitcoin's energy consumption.
Right.
And it's definitely something that's giving me pause.
It's a serious issue.
So, not all sunshine and roses in the crypto world. Are there any positive developments on that front? Anything that gives us hope for a greener crypto future?
There are. It's not all doom and gloom. I think the crypto community is waking up to the fact that they've got to do better.
Right.
And we are seeing some positive changes. For example, you've got Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency.
Right.
And they are in the process of transitioning to a much more energy efficient model called proof of stake, which is going to reduce their energy consumption significantly.
That's encouraging.
It is. So it just goes to show that it's not so black and white. You can't just lump all cryptocurrencies together when it comes to their environmental impact.
Right.
Each platform, each coin needs to be evaluated on its own merits. And when we're looking at a platform like HAMSTAR, I think we should be asking ourselves,
are they using, this energy-intensive proof-of-work model like Bitcoin?
Right.
Or are they doing something different? Are they moving towards proof of stake? That feels like a pretty crucial piece of the puzzle, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I'm always surprised by how many people just kind of dive headfirst into these platforms without even considering, like, hey, what's the actual cost here?
Right.
Not just in terms of my time and my money, but, what about the planet?
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, you got to look for platforms that are upfront about their energy consumption.
Right.
What are they doing to minimize their impact? Transparency is key.
Transparency is key, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of transparency and things to look out for, let's give our listeners some practical advice. How do you navigate this world of tap to earn without, getting caught in a trap? What are some things that you should look out for before you even think about signing up on one of these platforms?
So before you even think about handing over your email address, right? Let alone any of your hard-earned money.
Right.
Do your research.
Yes.
Really dig into the platform. Who's behind it? Is there a clear, identifiable team? Can you find concrete information about how they actually make money? What is their business model?
Right, because they're promising you all this crypto, but how are they making the money to pay you?
Exactly. So don't just take their word for it, right? Look for proof. Look for evidence that there's an actual sustainable business underpinning all these promises.
Right. So, if their website is just 3 pages of vague promises and there's no real information.
Yeah, if it's all style and no substance.
Big red flag.
Huge red flag. Run, don't walk.
Exactly. And what about user reviews? There's a gold mine of information there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, who better to trust than people who've actually used the platform?
Right.
But, take everything with a grain of salt.
Of course. Of course.
Right. Look for patterns in the feedback.
Okay.
Are you seeing the same complaints over and over again? Are people having trouble withdrawing their money?
Right.
Are accounts getting shut down for no reason?
So don't just focus on the glowing 5-star reviews.
Right.
Look for those consistent issues that people are having.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And never underestimate the power of your gut feeling.
Oh, yeah.
If something feels off, if something feels too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts.
A million times. Yes.
Yeah.
Trust your gut because, it's your hard-earned money on the line.
Right.
It's your time. It's your energy.
Don't let anybody pressure you into something that doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Now, to be fair, not all tap-to-earn platforms are scams.
Right.
There are legitimate ones out there, but it's up to you to separate the wheat from the chaff, right?
Do your research.
Do your research.
Okay, so to kind of bring it all together, what are the key takeaways?
Sure.
What do you want our listeners to, remember from this conversation? What's the ultimate wisdom that you can impart?
All right, so number 1, if it feels like you've stumbled upon a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, it probably is too good to be true.
Right.
Be wary of platforms promising these insane, unrealistic returns for, very minimal effort.
So once again, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is, but honestly, that's good advice for life in general.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Okay, so that's number 1. What's number 2?
Number 2, transparency is king. Okay. Demand it. Demand clarity about the business model, about the team, about the track record.
Oh, don't settle for vague answers.
Don't settle for these anonymous figures lurking in the shadows,
Right. And also, don't be afraid to walk away. If something doesn't feel right, just walk away.
There are plenty of other platforms out there, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then number three, I would say it's important to keep in mind that while cryptocurrency has this potential to be really revolutionary,
Right.
it's still relatively new.
Right.
It's still a very volatile space, and there are inherent risks involved, just like with any investment, really.
So, don't be out there putting in your rent money.
Exactly.
Only what you can afford to, potentially maybe lose.
Right, because not every crypto venture is going to be the next Bitcoin.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think those platforms, especially the ones that are so, gamified and they make it seem so effortless.
Right. It's just fun and game.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be extra careful with those.
Extra careful because it really is easy to get, like, swept up
Right.
in the allure of quick and easy money.
Absolutely. Don't let that, that flashy marketing, that promise of easy riches, don't let it cloud your judgment.
Right.
Always remember.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
There you go.
Especially in the world of crypto, because it changes so quickly.
It does. It's constantly evolving. And you're just taking the time to really understand how these platforms work, what to look out for.
Right.
That's how you protect yourself, and that's how you make smart decisions.
Right. We don't want you to be terrified of crypto. We just want you to be informed.
Exactly. Informed and empowered, not terrified and broke.
100%. And, at the end of the day, look, cryptocurrency has shown us that it has the potential to, like, really change things.
It does.
But we're still early, right?
Very early.
And these newer platforms, especially these ones that are promising you the world, you really got to, approach them with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah, I always say, would you trust some random person on the street who promised to, double your money overnight?
Right.
Probably not, right?
Right.
So same rules apply in the digital world.
Exactly. Exactly. Just be smart about it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We've gone from, how tap to earn works to, what are the risks, how to stay safe. But I want to leave our listeners with one final thought before we wrap up here.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about, the risks, the scams, the potential downsides, even environmental concerns.
Yeah.
What if we could use this technology for good? What if we thought a little bit bigger?
I love that. That's a great question, and it's not as far-fetched as it sounds, actually.
Okay.
Imagine a world where we're using blockchain technology, the same technology that underpins cryptocurrency.
Right.
But we're using it to create systems in other areas of our lives that are more transparent, more equitable.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
Okay, so think about things like supply chains, or voting systems, or
Right.
even charitable giving, all these areas where, frankly, there's a lot of opacity.
Right. You don't really know where the money's going.
Exactly, exactly. And so blockchain has this potential to really revolutionize those industries and those systems.
Right. Make things more accountable.
Exactly, exactly. So it's not just about, can I make a quick buck with this new coin?
Right. It's about, how can we use this technology to, actually make the world a better place?
Exactly. It's about building a better future.
That's what I like to hear. All right. So there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into the world of tap to earn.
Ew.
We covered it all, from the basics to some pretty big ideas about the future.
We did.
And most importantly, we've given you the knowledge to stay safe out there, because knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
But now we want to hear from you. Have you tried any tap to earn platforms? What's been your experience? Share your stories, good, bad, or maybe even a little bit ugly. And remember, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
All right.